The tariffs are not driving U.S. prices higher. At least that's what the inflation report is suggesting. Consumer prices, they rose less than expected in the month of September. Although year over year, we did see price growth accelerate to 3%, but that was also less than expected. So why is this happening? Now, the reason may be that a lot of businesses are afraid to pass on those costs to consumers. We've had layoffs, we have the government shutdown, then a lot of people are going unpaid or losing their wages, and perhaps they're afraid to pass those costs on. Regardless, for the markets, what we are seeing is that the lower inflation numbers have driven stock futures to fresh record highs. It's driven the U.S. dollar lower, and it's also driven gold prices higher because it's driving the U.S. dollar lower. Now, unfortunately for me as a Forex trader, we're not seeing much continuation in the dollar. It's relatively subdued. Stocks, they're holding on to their gains, but also not much continuation either. The reason is because next week we've got the Federal Reserve meeting. And while this inflation report reinforces the prospect of a 25 basis point rate cut next week, the Fed chairman will probably remain wishy-washy about whether or not we'll see 50 basis points in December and how many rate cuts we'll get next year, because he'll want to see how Trump and Xi's meeting plays out at the end of the week, next week. And also what happens between the U.S. and Canada. The U.S. canceled trade talks with Canada this week. And so, all of that isn't going well. We don't have any other data aside from this inflation report. If I was Powell, I'd probably sound non-committal and then wait to see how things develop. And I think that's what the market is anticipating, which is why we're not seeing huge reactions, and we're seeing smaller than usual reactions to this latest inflation report. I'll try to keep you all updated. This is Kathy Lee. Make sure you join me on Monday to break down what is expected for the week ahead on X, on YouTube, in our Monday Market Buzz, because it's definitely going to be a very busy trading week with the China meeting and also 4 central bank interest rate decisions on the calendar.